Good morning. I just wanted to update us on the Winter Storm PEX now that it's officially over. 30 hours of a nor'easter is much more than I'm sure many people in our city want to tolerate. Yonkers received reportedly 10 to 15 inches of snow over the last 30 hours. Obviously, this was a significant amount of snow on top of the almost foot of snow that is already on the ground from previous storms. And like you, I'm very, very frustrated with Mother Nature. Before I got this job, I used to love the snow. Now I'm having a little bit of a problem with that, but we know that this is just part of the cause and part of what we do, so we're going to get through this. I know that the public is somewhat brittle because they have been held captive to this storm and the effects of it. I just ask that the residents of our city continue to be patient and allow stay off the street as much as you can, and allow the DPW crews to do their job and get this city as clear as possible. But like I said, despite the frustrations, we have a job to do. Our crews have been out since midnight on Wednesday night preparing and plowing our streets, and yesterday afternoon we were fortunate to have somewhat of a break in the weather, so it's to make a dent in the snow and in the cleanup. I want to reassure our residents that we will get to your streets. Right now, our focus is on primary roads and business districts, then secondary roads, and then, of course, last but not least, but last, will be dead-end streets. And with schools closed and the buses off the streets, that's going to help us out significantly. And we will have our crews working all day today and throughout the weekend to clear as many of the mounds of snow that have piled up over the last week, and to not just I shouldn't say that, because the mounds of snow are probably the last part of it. That deals with the cleanup. Right now, the clearing of the roads is our priority. And so despite the amount of storms we've had, Yonkers has had plenty of salt. We have plenty of salt for this storm, and that's because of the good work DPW has done to plan for this, and we'll be set throughout this weekend, including this storm that's coming this weekend. As for the effects of yesterday's storm, you may notice that some of our streets had experienced some flooding. Most of that has subsided, but please be mindful that while you're driving, that there are still some streets that are flooded. And I'm happy to report that Con has reported no power outages in Yonkers. As you know, unfortunately, one of our local businesses did experience a roof collapse in 32 Lockwood Avenue, a local restaurant. The restaurant area collapsed, crushing the tables inside the restaurant. So we're happy to know that no one was in the building at the time. And it will probably be a good 6 months before they're back up in operation. And I know that the building commissioner will talk about that later. Also at 4 Lafayette, there's a 12-family dwelling, lost power during the night, and they still have heat. So now that the storm is over, I want to remind the residents of Yonkers that our city is open for businesses, that most of our businesses are open, such as Cross County is open today. Yonkers Raceway, which closed down for the evening, is back open and operating today. Our schools are closed, our parks and senior programs are canceled, and again, this will allow our crews to better access the road. As far as snow removal is concerned, alternate side of the street has been suspended until Monday. Monday is, again, a holiday. More snow is expected, 1 to 3 inches, but we're also expected to see 50-degree weather over the next week, so that will help us out. The city is in the process of talking with contractors, people that we already have contracts with, to help us with the snow removal. So in addition to our own staff, the public should expect to see local contracting companies helping with the snow removal in the city. So with that, I'm going to ask the police commissioner to say a few words just to give us an update. Commissioner Gardner.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor mentioned, although the storm has ended, driving conditions are still problematic on our roadways. Some of our roadways remain snow-covered, and as the snow melts, we're experiencing some flooding conditions at locations throughout the city. So we're asking the public to please, if you can, stay off the roadways and give us a chance to get through and clear out some of them. And if you do have to travel, please keep in mind that sometimes water is deeper than it appears, but use caution. Do not drive into a puddle. And also try to give yourself a little extra time if you're traveling, and also give some additional space between you and the vehicle in front of you, and it'll help for some safe driving and some less motor vehicle accidents here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We also have Chief Darcy for the Yonkers Fire Department to give us an update, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor Spano. Just a couple of things. One of the main concerns of the fire department during this is access to fire hydrants. The amount of snow that we have, and the amount of it's been going on for such a long period of time, the snowbanks are getting really high. During a fire, if we don't have access to the fire hydrants, it's a major problem. So I'd just like to ask the people if they can try to shovel out their hydrants in front of their houses, and also try not to park their vehicles in front of the hydrants, and not have any snow while they're removing their vehicles back up into the fire hydrants, because again, if there is a fire, not only can we not find the hydrants, but that snow will freeze around the hydrants, and it really will delay our operations. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I know we're also joined by Councilman Mike Sabatini. Mike, I do that to you all the time. I think that's why you got that in my brain. To Mike Green, who's my councilman. Do you want to say a few words? We're good. And the building commissioner, Bill Snyder.
Good morning. As the mayor said, we did have a roof collapse last night, approximately 10:30ish at the Cascada restaurant on Lockwood Avenue. It was a low-pitch roof in the back. It had a severe snow buildup on it. The additional snow, it was even there from the last snowfall. It just couldn't bear the weight, and it collapsed. We were very fortunate, as the mayor said, that nobody was there at the time. There's a significant amount of damage. So the building itself is temporarily out of commission for at least 6 months. We'll be there today. The gas and electrical are cut, so it is no risk to any of the buildings on either side. And the owner is there, and we'll be filing necessary permits to make safe. For Lafayette, my latest information is that the power is on there, but we'll be checking to make sure that that building's habitable throughout the day. Just a word of caution, those type of roof collapses can still occur even though it's not snowing. The water is still up there even though the snow is melting. Drains are clogged, so we urge owners of buildings to clear those as soon as possible so the water can drain. And that's it. If there's no questions? Good.
Just a quick reminder, too, before I ask our incident commander to close out for us. To the residents, I know that this is very frustrating. I know that you might live on a street where the plow has not been able to get there yet. That can be frustrating. Try to be patient. Your crews are out by the hundreds. I mean, everyone's doing everything they need to do to clear and get rid of the consequences of this storm. Also, if a couple of things you can do. One, fire hydrant. If you have a fire hydrant in front of your home, you know it's your responsibility to keep that fire hydrant clear. That would help us out to make sure that gets done. Also, just be a good neighbor. Look out for the senior citizen who lives next door, or the young family that might live next door to you. Just check in, make sure they're okay. And then, of course, like I said, the weather's going to warm up, and the crews will continue to do their cleanup, and we'll be fine. So with that, Tom Meyer, Commissioner Tom Meyer, who is also our DPW Commissioner and the Incident Commander for this storm, I'm going to let him close out, and I just want to say thank you to him for the great job he's doing, and especially that he hasn't had too much sleep in the past 2 nights, so I just want to say thanks. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank the DPW Parks and traffic engineer crews, as well as emergency service crews, police and fire department, Empress Ambulance, for all working together during this incident to make sure all of our residents are safe and to make sure that those streets are as accessible as possible. As the mayor said, we'll continue to improve the primary roads. We'll begin, actually we've already started on the secondary roads, and we'll get to the dead end shortly thereafter. The sun shining, even though it hasn't warmed up that much, the sun definitely helps. A nice chemical reaction with the salt that we spread down helps to loosen up the snow and the ice and allows us to plow it. We began to plan as the storm was coming. We began to plan on snow removal. Yonkers already had several hundred piles of snow around. We're hampered by a few things. Equipment is just part of it. We do have some heavy equipment that we can use to remove snow and trucks. Places to put it become problematic and challenging. Of course, we can always use additional help. So as the mayor said, we have contracts in place that are pre-approved. Now all we need to do is call the contractors out. We began that process this morning, and we'll go into what we call the snow removal process. What we've been doing so far is just snow plowing. That's just pushing it off the road. Now we're going to look at removing some of those. And we'll prioritize those streets to be snow emergency routes. Those are the main roads, like Broadway, North and South Broadway, Warburton Avenue, Riverdale Avenue, going across Tuckahoe Road, Yonkers Avenue, McLean Avenue, Central Avenue. Those are all emergency routes, and we'll focus on those first. We ask anybody who has vehicles parked on those snow emergency routes, please try to move them. It is essential that we be able to come down with heavy equipment and just get that snow off the street. That'll give you an opportunity. Once that street's cleared, if there's parking there, you can park over there and get cars on the other side of the street, and then eventually we'll get to that side of the street. But try to remove your car from any snow emergency routes first. We did cancel garbage pickup this morning. We wanted all available crews working on snow plowing and salting. Reminder, next week is a holiday schedule. Monday's a holiday, so Monday's garbage goes out Tuesday, Tuesday goes out Wednesday, Thursday is recycling, it's commingles, and then Thursday is picked up on Friday. And then the week after that, we're back to normal operation. The flooding is not being caused by the rivers having too much water. Right now, the flooding is being caused by the snow and the compact ice blocking up the sewer drains and the storm drains. If you do have one in front of your house, take the back end of a broomstick and just punch a hole down there, free up some of the ice, and that should alleviate it. Otherwise, you could call us and we'll dispatch the sewer department. They were dispatched last night. Probably dealt with a couple of dozen localized flooding issues because of the heavy rain and the snow and the ice. As the Fire Commissioner said, whatever help you can provide us to make sure fire hydrants are accessible to the fire department. But please remember, when you're shoveling and snow blowing your sidewalks and your driveways, do not shovel and snow blow it back onto the roadways. That's just going to cause additional ice, and it's going to require DPW to come back and replow that street, which means another street's not going to get plowed. So we ask for everybody's cooperation. It is against the code. It's a violation of the codes to do that. You can get a ticket. I believe the tickets, they're nominal, but you're causing a safety issue. So just don't do that. Make it into a pile. As soon as we get the resources, we'll start removing those piles of snow. That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.